Good evening and welcome to Sakna News. Tonight, we bring you an extraordinary story that sounds more like science fiction than military logistics. Imagine a 400,000-pound aircraft flying just a few hundred feet above the Pacific Ocean, trying to deliver a single 50-pound package to a moving nuclear submarine worth more than $2 billion. If this sounds impossible, you're not alone. But in October 2020, the United States Air Force and Navy attempted exactly that. And what happened next could change submarine operations forever. October 22, 2020, the mission begins at Hickam Air Force Base in Hawaii. At precisely 5:30 a.m., a massive C-17 Globemaster thunders off the runway, its four Pratt & Whitney engines lifting over 400,000 pounds into the morning sky. On board, a single small package, just 50 pounds in weight, strapped down in the cargo bay. The stakes immense. If successful, this would prove submarines could be resupplied at sea, far from ports, without ever revealing their location. If it failed, years of planning and perhaps billions of taxpayer dollars would be lost. The recipient of this unusual delivery, the USS Henry M. Jackson, a 560-foot nuclear submarine. For 6 hours, it had been drifting silently beneath the Pacific, maintaining strict radio silence. The problem: in an ocean that covers 1/3 of the planet, finding one submarine is like searching for a needle in a haystack, except the haystack is the size of Russia. And the needle doesn't want to be found. As the C-17 approaches the submarine's last known coordinates, radar operators scan furiously. On their screens, green blips cascade like digital rain. Each one could be debris, a wave, marine life, or the submarine. The Pacific offers no landmarks, no visual cues, just endless blue. Precision GPS navigation keeps the aircraft exact to within 30 feet. But the submarine could have drifted miles away. Finally, at 7:30 a.m., the first transmission arrives, just 3 seconds long. It updates the submarine's position, revealing it had drifted over 4 nautical miles from its original location. Enough to throw off the plan, and enough to remind everyone on board just how unpredictable this mission really was. At 9:15 a.m., radar paints a faint contact, a shape too solid to be debris, too consistent to be a wave. It vanishes, reappears, vanishes again. Then finally, confirmation: the USS Henry M. Jackson has surfaced. For the first time, the aircrew glimpses their target, a narrow black line cutting through Pacific swells. And with that sighting, the mission moves to its most dangerous stage. The C-17 begins its descent to just 500 feet above the water. At this altitude, the aircraft stops behaving like a plane and starts lumbering like a whale in a storm. Control inputs lag, turbulence jolts the aircraft. The pilots are essentially trying to thread a 400,000-pound needle in moving air, above moving seas, aiming for a moving submarine. Every correction feels like wrestling physics itself. Below, the submarine crew has their own balancing act, keeping the massive vessel steady on the surface while waves try to tip it like a seesaw. And from the sub, a small rigid inflatable boat launches its 4 sailors bouncing over swells, preparing to recover the package once it hits the water. Inside the aircraft, the loadmaster now becomes the central figure. He has performed thousands of cargo drops before, but never like this. He calculates in real time: the package will take 57 seconds to fall. In that time, the submarine will move 15 meters forward. Winds will push it 20 meters east, and the aircraft's momentum will throw it another 344 meters ahead. He has one chance to balance all of these factors, one chance to pull the release at precisely the right moment. Meanwhile, the pilots struggle to hold exact numbers: 120 knots airspeed, no faster, no slower; 500 feet altitude, no higher, no lower. Any deviation, and the package could miss by hundreds of meters. The tension in the cockpit is thick. 3 years of planning, thousands of man-hours, now hanging on seconds of execution. At 9:40 a.m., the C-17 lines up on its final approach. The submarine maintains a steady course at 6 knots. The recovery boat positions itself 200 meters off to the side, ready to pounce. Inside, the loadmaster grips the release. His countdown begins. 3, 2, 1. Release. The 50-pound package tumbles out of the aircraft, dropping like a stone, twisting and spinning as the ocean rush is up to meet it. Everyone on board strains to see. Seconds feel like hours, then impact, splash. The package hits the water about 150 meters ahead of the submarine and 10 meters to starboard. Not perfect, but recoverable. Immediately, a flotation collar deploys, popping the package back to the surface like a bright orange buoy. The recovery boat roars into action, engines howling as sailors race across the waves. Within minutes, they haul the container aboard. The experiment has succeeded. Against the odds, a cargo plane has just delivered supplies to a submarine in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. What does this mean for the U.S. Navy? The implications are profound. Submarines are the most survivable leg of America's nuclear deterrent. But their endurance has always been limited by resupply. With this new method, they could remain at sea longer, operate in regions without friendly ports, and receive critical supplies without ever revealing their position. In short, the United States just proved it can Amazon prime a submarine. And in the world of modern warfare, that change is everything. This was a look inside one of the most daring and innovative military experiments in recent history. And you're watching Sakna News. Stay with us for more extraordinary stories from